Welcome to episode 4 of the Learn podcast, where first you learn and then you drop the L. I'm your host, Dean the Wealth Coach. Today's topic is clarity. I'm going to just show you a few things that I'm going through. And let me know if you're going through this as well. I have a 12-week planner. I have a notebook journal. I got a few others over here. I have my phone. I have my laptop. I have sticky notes. Yeah, clarity is something that is very hard to overcome. And I had that realization during my therapy session where she just broke down that I'm just doing too much and I need to just focus on one thing. So what I took in was very helpful, and I want to share this with you. If you feel like you're doing too much or you have too much on your plate, what you should do is stop. Take a breath and just let yourself gather your thoughts. Just sit there in silence and just think. You may think it's a waste of time, but it can help bring some clarity to you. And you being able to just stop in the moment and just let your brain process things can do a lot for you. For me, I've tried it a few times before. I didn't realize the power of it. But now, after my session, it makes sense now, where it's like, okay, just pause in the moment. And it's like, okay, why am I not making any headway, or why am I stuck? When you just sit there and just pause for a moment, it just allows your brain to just make connections that it needs to make and process things. And if it's something that you need to do, like a task, figure out what's the next thing that you need to do. It's like, what's the one next thing that I could do? Or what little step can I make to take a step further? Like, think of it as you're approaching a brick wall and you have this little chisel. If you keep at it, eventually you'll make a hole, or you'll be able to get a brick out of that brick wall. So just pause and just think to yourself for a second, what is the one next thing that I can do? For me, I have so many things on the go, and it's very hard when you're by yourself. But as you get a team, you can start doing more things. And that comes down to delegating, where you're not doing everything. And this is a topic that I'm going to be teaching a workshop on Saturday. Every Saturday, I plan to do workshops teaching you something. So I want to focus on time management to help people be able to get more things done and take things off their plate and eliminate things that they don't need to be doing. So I'll be hosting a workshop. I'll put the link below if you want to join that workshop. It will be on March the 18th, 9 a.m. So I'll be doing about a 30-minute to 1 hour workshop, just teaching you about time management. If that's something you're interested in, just make sure you subscribe down to the link below. Let me see, where's my thing that I want to talk to you guys about today? Yes, so time management is very key. It helps you just uncover a lot and get more things done. And there's 4 parts to it. There's the important and urgent, important, not urgent, urgent, not important, and not urgent, not important. So there's 4 categories. And if you can map out your days around that, like, life just becomes a game changer for you. For me, I struggle with time management a lot, and using this helps out significantly, where it just brings you back down to earth and you're just not always under pressure or anxiety to get things done. And sometimes less is more. You don't always need to be doing everything, and everything needs to be done in one day. Give yourself time to be able to process the things that you need to do, or to say, or what's the thing I'm looking for? Give room for like margin of error. No, not error, but give room for things to happen. Like anything can happen. Like you literally plan out from when you wake up to when you're going to bed. Like you feel excited. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna get today's all this stuff done, and like I can relax. And guess what? Life happens. Things happen, and you don't even get to finish a few things on the list. Maybe one thing you get done on the list, which is fine. The goal is not to add more things to the list, so that you can at least complete what it is that you have on the list. And having the time management matrix in possession helps out a lot. So this is a strategy I'm going to help you guys with on Saturday morning, March 18th, 9 a.m. Links below. My whole goal is to help you guys just become a better person, help you build your wealth. Either that's financially, physically, mentally, socially, or getting back your time. Whatever it is that you want to achieve, that's what you're going to achieve here on this channel. I'm thinking of doing a segment or maybe a day where I just talk about like my little sticky notes. So I got a bunch of them. One here is book recommendations. So Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I think every successful entrepreneur has read that book. If you have not read that book, take a peek at that book. I'll leave a link below for you guys to click for that book. Peter Lynch, One Up on Wall Street. So this is more for people that are investing in the stock market. Tony Robbins, Money Master the Game. That's a really good book. I read that one. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad as well. Peter Lynch, One Up on Wall Street, I haven't read yet. The Essays of Warren Buffett. Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich is a really, really powerful book. And when I first received that book, I wasn't ready to intake the information in there. A lot of people think it's going to give you that cheat code to making a lot of money, but it's more so on your mindset, just helping you shift your mindset shifting your mindset to get you to see things differently and act differently or act accordingly. And it's a very powerful book. If you haven't read it, I would recommend reading that as well, or picking up the audiobook. The audiobook is what I listen to, because the book, at first the book I wasn't really into the book, and at the time I wasn't really a big reader, but I plan to go through that book again. It's very, very powerful. What else do I have here? I have another sticky note here. You guys let me know what you think in the comments for some show ideas or segment ideas. Segment show, whichever you want to call it. So for Saturday mornings, Side Hustle Saturday, but I know I mentioned the time management matrix, but I think that's important. So we're going to do that for this week. Whiteboard Wednesdays, Sunday service. So Whiteboard Wednesdays would be me just pretty much giving you the strategy, or just outlining what it is that, okay, let's take a step back. So Side Hustle Saturdays, but this week I'm going to be using my whiteboard to teach time management matrix. So Whiteboard Wednesdays is me teaching you something on my whiteboard, but we're going to do it on Saturday. Sunday service will be like a question and answer day and what you learned. So I'll test your knowledge to see if you have been implementing what I've been teaching. That's it for the ideas for my show that I've been thinking about. Pass on some more information. So this is for people that are involved in the stock market. So what companies do, and this is something that you should adopt as well, they keep 80% of their money in assets and 20% in cash. 20% in cash is because if an opportunity arises or if something happens, you have money to fall back on to either make that purchase or pay off something that needs to be paid in that moment. And 4 areas where you should be looking into purchasing stocks and hold for 1 to 3 years is health, tech, cybersecurity, and defense. Those are the 4 categories you should be looking into and holding for 1 to 3 years. So I learned this through Wall Street Trapper. If you haven't seen his show on called Trapping Tuesdays on at Tuesday at 7 p.m., I'll definitely recommend watching Trapping Tuesdays. Very good show. Let's see what else is here. Oh, one very good thing that he mentioned is right now we're in a bear market, and what you should be doing is don't try to call what they say the bottom. Nobody can predict the bottom of a stock or the top of a stock. What you should be doing is getting in position. That was the one thing he said you need to remember. Get in position. And it doesn't matter where you get in as long as you're in the market, because the moment the bear becomes a bull market, you're going to start seeing some good returns. But if you're not in the game, you have no skin in the game. So if you have some money sitting aside, it's like say in a savings account where it's making absolutely nothing, now's the time for you to start doing your research and getting into the stock market. So he mentioned that. Yeah, he mentioned a couple of times like defensive stocks and healthcare. Those are like the 2 top things. Why? Because, well, he said America is a drug dealer. Like America literally wants you to be taking pills or taking medicine. Like that's literally how the economy goes. Like it's like, hey, we made a drug, now you take the drug. So healthcare is something that's really, reason being is because if you get sick, you go to the hospital pays the government. It's just a big cycle. So if you're looking to get into stock market, those 4 areas. And he didn't mention it on his last episode, but it's something that kind of just popped into my head while he was talking. But this is not me telling you to go out and purchase this company, but it's something he mentioned that he's been sleeping on. I feel myself's been sleeping on, but a company that looks promising, but still need to do the research, is American Express. My reasoning for American Express is the amount of perks that they give their clients, and it's usually people of high net worth that have their cards, and business owners. Like a lot of business owners use it for traveling. Like it's like the travel card, like top tier travel card. So during the recession, not a lot of people were traveling, but now a lot of people are getting back into traveling, and the perks that American Express offers, I don't think any other credit card can match what they offer. And if you're unsure of stocks to purchase, you can look up hedge fund companies and see what they're purchasing and start doing your research based on what they're purchasing. Like one of the top hedge fund companies out there is a company called BlackRock. Like I almost feel like that company controls America. So if you go to like Yahoo Finance, go to BlackRock or type in BlackRock, you'll literally, or not Yahoo, sorry, Google, and type in BlackRock and see who they own. They'll give you a list of companies that they own, and you can start doing your research based off of that. Another key takeaway or key thing that I want you to remember, or something that you can use to help just give you a bit of motivation: what you don't know is not the reason for you not to do it. If you don't know something, that's the best time for you to start. You're curious, you're excited. Like, well, for the most part, this is how I feel when I'm curious about something. I'm excited. I feel like a kid again. And what is it that kids do when they're curious about something? They go and explore. So you have the perfect opportunity to explore something, see if it's something that piques your interest. It doesn't matter if you don't know what you're doing, just do it anyways. When I was younger, I used to draw pictures of of characters that I really liked. I thought I could be the next, well, not next cartoon artist, but just be an author. Like I would make my own drawings of these characters. And I think this is when we got introduced to a lamination machine. So I used to draw the pictures, and I thought I was like the best artist ever. Like I was drawing Toad from Super Mario, I was drawing Ninja Turtles, I was drawing Bart Simpson, and I thought my drawings were amazing. So I would create the pictures, not thinking like, hey, my picture doesn't look like what I see on TV. I didn't care. It was just the fact that I had it on paper, and we had a lamination machine. So I would create the story, give it to the teacher, and then they would laminate it for me, and so that, because that would protect my book from getting wet and the paper ripping. So I didn't let what I didn't know stop me from creating these stories. I didn't know how to write a story, how to draw pictures, but the moment we had that machine, it kind of just like, yeah, let me try it out. And I just did a bunch of books. I wish I still had those books to show you guys, but fortunately I don't. But it's okay. I know now, just like with my kid stuff, we kind of put it like in a Tupperware thing so that we can preserve it. So when she gets older, she can see these things, or if she decides to have kids, she can show them like, hey, look what mommy used to do, you know? So yeah, we're kind of all over the place today, but that's okay. We're learning, and once we learn, we're gonna earn, and not financially, but just grow. It's like that's my whole purpose of the Learn podcast. It's like learn and then drop the L. At the end of the day, it's always going to be a learning lesson for me. Like something is going to be new, something's going to change. Change is inevitable. There's only two things that are guaranteed in life. Well, three things: change, taxes, and death. There's only things that are guaranteed in life, and you got to be able to embrace change. So that is today's episode of the Learn podcast. If you found any value in this episode, there's a little thing in the YouTube or just below the video where you can clip pieces of this. If you found something that you really enjoyed, clip it so that you can save it on your YouTube, in your YouTube folder, or share this with somebody else that can benefit them based off of what we talked about today. I'm your host, Dean the Wealth Coach. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on the next episode, which is tomorrow.